Hey guys, I'm Mike and I bowl for Team Singapore, and this is my YouTube channel where I'll be covering all the bowling tournaments that I'll be bowling in and sharing my perceptions and views on what I see on the lanes and off the lanes. So with that, I will be sharing my views on the 54th Nationals and 9th Youth Championship that I just bowled locally. I will be sharing my scores, the balls that I used, the pattern, how everyone was playing it, and some clips that I took of everyone and myself while I was bowling. So this year's pattern is 47 feet, 35 mils, and 2.27 is to 1 ratio. So I will be putting a photo of it on the screen like right now, because I'm looking at it on my computer right here. So yeah, I'll put it somewhere here. So with the pattern out of the way now, I will be going through my scores for qualifying and then walking you through the ball changes that I made and what I saw in the lanes, and then comparing it to how it broke down in youth and how it broke down in the open category. So for my youth qualifying, my first block was 215, 246, 188, 206, 203, and a 160. The game before the 160 game was decent. I had a decent line going for me. Arrows were about like 29 and my break point was about 15. And then when it got to the last game, everything just kind of like got very blurry. Blurry in the sense of my ball was burning out way too quick and the back end was just really tight. So I didn't have anything for me on the inside part of the lane, and I only got the answer by moving it right, like getting my errors from 28 to 14 and then my break point from 15 to about 12, like trying a whole new area. But I only got that on the 9th and 10th frame where I had 9 spare, 9 spare, and then finally a strike. So for the balls that I used from games 1 to 5, I used the Crusher and the Wicked Collision on the Fresh. And then on the Transition, I used the Intense Mindset and the Violent Collision. And then again, I balled down to the Big Time SE, the Game Breaker 5, and then the Scorpion Strike. And yes, I also did forget to mention that I used the Teal Rhino Pro and the Hammer Effect as well. So many of you guys might ask me why the need for so many bowling balls. This is because to me, the front of the pattern always gets extremely torqued. So I needed more balls that are cleaner through the front and still responsive down lane. So for the balls that had a little bit more surface for me, like the Teal Rhino Pro, the Crusher, and the Wicked Collision, I went ahead and used True Cut polish and polished these balls up so that they would read the lane a little bit later down the lane, and then still have a little bit of teeth underneath to come off the cliff and then go through the pins right. So even before polishing my balls, I noticed that the left and right lanes played completely different. After polishing my balls, this helped to minimize the differences, but I still had to use two different balls on two different lanes. So I started with the Wicked Collision on the left lane and then the Crusher on the right lane, and then had different sets of bowling balls to combat the transition and the double burn. So after my solid balls burnt up, I used the Intense Mindset on the left lane and then Violent Collision on the right lane, and then continued to change balls to cleaner balls, and then made sure that the ball reaction was better and made sure that the pin carry was optimal. So these are the few balls that I used for youth qualifying block 1. However, I do use the purple hammer to qualify as well because I had some guy using a purple hammer that I was following. So So when I used urethane, I had to keep it even tighter than the reactive line just because the urethane saw the dry in the mid lane so early because of how the integrity of the pattern is like. So just keeping it and playing tight down lane and keeping your front angles close and playing the hole with the urethane seemed to work the best for what I saw. So I still managed to get away with some hits by missing it left and then carrying the 4-pin and just having a decent look but not too great. So the reason why I said that the urethane line wouldn't be the best or ideal is because I suffered from poor carry hits and resulted in pretty mediocre scores. So I'll give you the breakdown of my open block 1. I bowled a 187, 227, 190, 190, 226, and 212. But for the first 2 games, I did use reactive, and for the remaining of the 4 games that I bowled, I used the purple hammer. But the purple hammer seemed decent. Again, not the best ball in terms of how it carries the pins, but still plus 32 overall for block 1, and that put me at 17th out of 30 guys for the cut. Well into the cut, but I knew that it wouldn't be enough for me to solidify my spot for the finals. As far as the reactive shape goes, I think the reactive shape looks really good, but however, I was following 2 guys that were throwing urethane on top of whatever my line was, so I had to come up with a backup plan with the purple hammer just in case the reactive shape didn't look good when I moved pairs. So that concludes my qualifying for youth and open block 1. To reiterate, I am plus 18 for youth and plus 32 over for men's open. So definitely making changes to the game plan that I had prior to the first day of qualifying with the addition of the purple hammer. So one more thing I want to talk about is loft. No matter how good you throw the ball this tournament, if you don't have a good amount of loft in your shot for the first 10 feet, your ball is just gonna lock up too soon and read the lanes way too soon, and then your ball burns up the energy and then starts leaving you really, really weird combinations like flat tens, buckets, 2/8s, and light splits. So one thing I did to combat this is by lofting the shot, trying to get the ball to read the lane a little bit later down lane, and then conserve the energy way later so that it doesn't burn up so early. So a lot of bowlers this tournament had the illusion of their balls reading way too late down lane, but instead it's the fact that the fronts are way too torched, their balls are locking up too soon, reading the lanes too early, and the energy of the bowling balls are being burnt up way too quick in the front. So that's why the balls are just going long and just sailing on them. So for Youth Block 2, I bowled scores of 211, 250, 216, 159, 210, and 202. So for the 159 game, I struck every single time on the right lane, went bucket, 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 bucket without the 8 pin, and then 4-7-10 on the last frame on the left lane. So I couldn't get anything going. I tried to make the best out of what I saw for my ball reaction and just didn't manage to see anything right. So for Men's Open Block 2, I bowled 191, 192, 194, 206, 238, and 207. So I struggled with carry issues on the first 3 games because I was using urethane on the fresh, and then a lot of 9s. I missed a double wood completely on the second game. That's on me because I could have gotten a 210 instead of a 192. And then I switched to reactive on the last 3 games to give myself a shot at making the cut, and set well into the cut. I think I finished 6th in qualifying and made the finals easily. So the day before the youth finals, I accidentally cut my ring finger. As you guys can see, my ring finger is bandaged up. Basically fell down because I tripped over a railing, and then that was the end of that. I bowled the youth finals because I wanted to finish up whatever I worked so hard for over the past month for training on this pattern, trying to learn my ball reaction and the causes and the reasons why my ball is hitting the pins a certain way and why is it reading off a certain spot a certain way as well. Injury aside, I think I did pretty decent this tournament. I hope that my performance continues to climb the next few tournaments in the coming year. I hope that my thought process behind my equipment and what I saw on the lanes this week has helped and widened everybody's perspective on how I see the lanes. I will definitely be making more content in future. I just need to take a well-deserved break right now because of my finger, and I'm just really, really tired. So see you guys.
All right, Mikey. Mikey, 5.